Now, we're getting the Israeli Defence Minister Israel Katz claiming that they have killed the Iranian Intelligence Minister Ismail Khatib. Do you know anything more about this?
Yes, we've just heard from the Israeli Defense Minister confirming in what he says the success of the assassination attempt of the Iranian intelligence chief Esmail Khatib. And according to Israeli military journalists and analysts who have been reporting on the story in the past few hours, he's been a target in attacks that targeted Tehran last night, saying that he was close in the Israeli perspective to the new supreme leader Ayatollah Khamenei. According to the Israeli sources, they say that they have been gathering intelligence information that allowed them now, Rashad, in the past 24 hours to declare the death of 3 senior Iranian officials. We were talking yesterday about Israel's announcement. In fact, it was Katz who announced the killing of Ali Larijani, the top security official in Iran, as well as the Besieged commander Gholamreza Soleimani. Now we see a second announcement in 24 hours by the Israeli Defense Minister saying that they indeed killed the intelligence minister. Now, in addition to that, the Israeli Defense Minister has said to expect surprises on all fronts, saying that this war is going to continue on both fronts, the one targeting Hezbollah and the one targeting Iran. Also, he said that the Defense Minister Israel Katz has him and Netanyahu instructed the military to conduct assassinations without requiring to get approval from the official sources, saying that this day will see even more surprises when it comes to this war. This is seen as yet another target, another success in the Israeli perspective to assassinate and crack down more on the Iranian regime. Since the war started, it started with a major assassination, the supreme leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. Then Israel kept upping the rhetoric and threatening to kill anyone who replaces the supreme leader. That was during the time the General Assembly was meeting to appoint a new supreme leader, or those who were meeting to appoint them. So this seems to be in line with the Israeli policy of trying to undermine the regime to help get it fall. Now, in the past few days before these recent assassinations, the Israeli Prime Minister has said that it was proving more difficult to get the Iranians to take to the streets to topple the regime, but that they will continue to do so to help them topple the regime. Israeli estimates were saying that even if the regime does not fall during the war, then they will keep cracking down on it to weaken it, so it would eventually be weakened and jeopardized when the war ends. This, in Israeli terms, is being seen as a major success. It's being celebrated, but also let's not forget it's been made possible because of the American and Israeli efforts to have aerial superiority over Iran that had eased the operations, had eased the ability of the Israeli Air Force to operate almost freely after jeopardizing and diminishing and weakening the Iranian defense systems.
Right, let's get to Mohammed Vali in Tehran. And what more can you tell us here? Because the Israeli Defence Minister Israel Katz has said that they have assassinated, if you will, killed the Iranian Intelligence Minister Ismail Khatib. What do we know about this man and his position in the regime?
Well, apparently Ismail Khatib is one of the key figures in the regime. He's been around for a long time. He worked in the office of the Supreme Leader. And he even has the title of Hujjat al-Islam, which means like he's one of the highly prominent clerics in the country. He worked also in the IRGC, and he was very close to the late Supreme Leader. So he's one of those figures that Israel and the United States are looking for assassination, because he's considered a hardliner. In 2002, he was put on the U.S. list of sanctions against Iranian officials. So Ismail Khatib fills all the the requirements for the Israelis to be after, and that's what they have done. We don't know, we don't have the confirmation yet, but right now there is a pattern. The Iranians do not talk about these assassinations until probably a day or two after. So the likelihood that he has been killed is high. And he is, of course, one of the hardliners, according to the general description of the hardliners, of people who talk, the Americans and the Israelis. And again, a new leader has been taken out, a new figure has been taken out, and that's adding to the count of people. The Israelis are probably, apparently betting on this type of assassinations to finish off all the members of the Iranian government and the Iranian system. Even though the Americans have been talking at the highest level, U.S. President Donald Trump has been talking about the possibility or the likelihood or the desire to find someone from among the government who is amenable to negotiations and who can meet the requirements that are needed by the Americans for a continuation for a resumption of ties with Iran. So, we have two approaches here. The Israelis trying to kill off everyone, and the Americans trying to find someone if they are serious about what they are saying. We don't know if there is a kind of coordination between the two sides, but apparently, at least on the face of it, there is no coordination. And the Iranians are watching this. They are saying this is not going to affect the government and the system. But there is fear that, this is going to lead to a situation where we have only young figures who have nothing to do with politics, who are not even interested in politics or negotiations. And by way of revenge or by way of anger of what's going on, they might resort to they might resort to power and just war. That's what they know. Most of them are field commanders in the IRGC or the army. And if the old figures, the wise leadership of the country is taken out entirely, then we will have a generation of people who are probably going to be more of hardliners than otherwise.
Mohammed Vali in Tehran, we can see these thousands of people taking to the streets of the Iranian capital to join the funeral for Gholamreza, Soleimani and Ali Larijani, who were killed in Israeli airstrikes on Tuesday. Let's get you back to Nida, Ibrahim in Ramallah on the occupied West Bank. And well, we have now a third person being assassinated by the Israelis, and according to at least the Israeli Defence Minister, I should say, Israel Katz. But he went on to say that we can expect significant surprises throughout the day on all fronts. I'm sure we don't know what that means exactly, but can you put all of this in context and what it tells us about the strategy Israel is employing in its bombing campaign in Iran?
Well, as you said there, Rashad, 3 senior Iranian officials have been killed in the span of 24 hours, according to what we've been reporting on based on the Israeli Defence Minister's statements. He has been saying that we should expect surprises that would escalate the level of the war on all fronts, referring to the Hezbollah attack on Hezbollah and attack on Iran, saying that him and Netanyahu have instructed the army to conduct assassinations without needing to get pre-approval from the highest levels. What that means is whether we will see more assassinations. It's a matter of if the Israelis have the opportunity, the chance, the intelligence information, but it seems to be preparing for a series of announcements. Now, should the Israeli forces have that ability to do so? It's being called now, this operation in Israeli media, as a triple success, saying that this shows that the regime has indeed taken a blow. Now, yes, we've been saying in the past that Iran is designed and its structure and its system is designed to survive the assassination of certain individuals, but among the Israelis, the estimate is that these major and main personalities being targeted in the beginning of the war, the supreme leader, and now main security officials in the regime, including what the Israelis have been saying, is the fact that Khatib has been a close aide to Mujtaba Khamenei, the current supreme leader, should and would
Nida, this is the scene at the moment in Tel Aviv. This is Israel Katz. He is briefing the press on what has been happening, including, of course, the killing of the Iranian intelligence minister, Ismail Khatib.
Assassination operation against the Iranian leaders, Larijani and Soleimani. Also, we have managed to assassinate the intelligence minister, and we will continue these operations in Iran. The Israeli policy is quite clear. No one has immunity in Iran, and everyone must know that. Prime Minister Netanyahu and myself, who asked the army to assassinate any Iranian official in Iran without any prior approval. We will continue assassinating everyone and killing everyone. Today, there are some expected surprises that will increase the level of the war against Iran and against Hezbollah. The
الهائلة لكبار النظام الزعيم الإيراني الفعلي لاrijani ورئيس منظمة إعمال القتل للشعب البسيج السليماني تم هذه.
All right, well, we're going to leave that. That was Israel Katz, the Israeli Defence Minister, announcing that the country had killed the Iranian intelligence minister, Ismail Khatib.